Given the incubation period of the Andes virus, which can be up to 6 weeks, it's possible that more cases may be reported. While this is a serious incident, WHO assesses the public health risk as low. It also shows why the international health regulations exist and how they work. WHO is working with multiple governments and partners on the response under those regulations. Our priorities are to ensure the affected patients receive care, that the remaining passengers on the ship are kept safe and treated with dignity, and to prevent any further spread of the virus.
Won't be the last pandemic. The next one could be far more severe. I mean, this one, it killed millions. It was awful. We got the vaccine. Actually, President Trump's leadership was a factor in getting that out quickly. And so when I spoke to him, I said, okay, here's some other medical innovations, including a thing called an HIV cure that could be accelerated. So, we should be more prepared both for a pandemic. I'd say that's still number one. You can worry about nuclear war. You can worry about AI. There's plenty to worry about. Overall, I'm an optimist. No, I mean, it's up to the government to think ahead on behalf of the citizens.
Yes.
So, a pandemic, there's a lot that we should be doing that hopefully we'll get our act together before the next one comes. Overall, the innovation in health, both in the developing countries, the rich world, I love being part of that.
I was reading, though, that you said the next pandemic you are predicting within maybe 25 years.
Certainly we'll have one in the next 25 years. There's even some pathogens out there that we're watching over right now. And it won't be the last pandemic.
All right, Shalom.
The next
First, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutation to all the brothers and a few sisters that's out there. Once it's like foreigners, from the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Shalom in the Hebrew, which means peace. What is a tech nerd? What does a tech nerd like this, who has no skill in any sort of virus curing, can be telling the world about? This is not fortunate. This is well planned out. This is the time that they all wanted. They got people exactly what they want, how they want you. I seen another video of a Jake woman talking about if we go into another pandemic or lockdown. No, it was a lockdown. She's gonna go to OF, OnlyFans. So people already have in their mind how this thing is supposed to turn out, like as if this thing that's supposed to turn out is gonna be like it was the last time, and is not gonna be as the last time. Last time they told everybody lockdown, and they gave everybody extra money to stay home. This guy's not fucking generous. If he already cut off people off of food stamps, cutting people off over the WIC, all these things, and not giving a damn, and putting more money to the military this time around, and telling people you got to go out there and make earn money while everybody else is losing their job, telling the world if the gas or oil goes up, was it $200 a barrel, which somebody did the equivalent to like $8-9. That's a sacrifice that is worth it. That's why some crazy shit like that. This time around, there ain't gonna be no fucking mercy. All right, they already have ICE established. They already have certain things in play. This time around, it's not gonna be like you get to sit home and you know, whatever those people was doing all day. This time around, they coming with fire. This time around, they coming with thunder. This time they come around with no mercy given. And this is why this clown, I don't know when, this is years ago. I could, and he was coming out, he was telling the world, like, yeah, the next pandemic is going to be far worse than the last one. If we said him and his she-male for the thing that he was married to, basically saying, yeah, when the next one comes, um, we we're gonna grab they're gonna grab your attention type shit. These mother effers are playing. They going all out, right? And it's about damn fucking time. You got World War III in the mix. You got, I mentioned, ICE. The most important thing out there is the RFID system, the beast system, AI generated system, because it's gonna hit you personally. It's gonna hit you where it hurts. All right, it's gonna be personalized. It's not gonna be a thing that's far off. It's gonna hit every single last one of us in the face to make decisions that we normally won't be making. This is where the Spirit of the Lord kicks in. This is the part of the elect. So all this stuff that's happening is everything coming together as a masterpiece from the Heavenly Father. All right, and He's using these vessels to inflict this world with the with the madness that these devils are producing. They are the right vessels to bring ages. They are just nothing but ages of chaos. Micah 2:1. It says, "Woe unto them that devises iniquity." And what is iniquity? Iniquity is sin multiplied. So they devise iniquity, meaning they plan out iniquity. They sort it out. How are we gonna do this? How are we gonna get everybody to do things that they normally would not do? You think this is just a thing that just came overnight? They're going by fly? No, no, no. A lot of things that they're doing is like they got the first couple initial steps and they expect everything else to play out because they're not well organized, they're not well planned, because they know they're going to get resistance. They know that people is not, there's always a factor of something that's going to change. These people are diabolical, evil sons of bitches in the planet Earth. Flat out. They don't have nobody's vested interest, period. They don't want life to continue. I hope people really understand, can grasp what the kind of creatures that we're dealing with. These are not normal individuals. People may have hatred towards one another, but people won't do half of the shit that these people would do. That's the crazy part. All right. Yeah, you might hate somebody, you might want to harm somebody, but it could only go so far. Eventually, that hatred tires out. Tell me if I'm lying. Right? But these people, no, 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 no. It's like there's a depth that's within them, a deep seated hatred that's within them that cannot let them do any good at all because there's nothing good about them. Stop trying to fucking find a way to save these damn Edomites. These Edomites are the devil what the Bible speaks of. And all you people out there that just always trying to find an excuse or just trying to, you know, make it seem like everybody else is losing it. Something is wrong with you. These people that's in a position of power and what they're planning to do to every single person, there's a reason why the scriptures say the Lord hates Esau. Because when he created it to be hated. It was for the rest of the world to catch up. And the world's seeing it, but they still can't put their finger on it. There it is. You have the rats that wear the small hats going out there flat out publicly genociding everything in their sight, and you can't speak nothing against them. Then you don't you find that kind of strange? You know? So this shit is going down, man. And it says, woe to them that's what the scripture says, woe. Woe meaning death and destruction. To them that devise of iniquity and work evil upon their beds. Meaning this is not a thing that just happened overnight. They can't think, they can't function without some sort of way to make somebody's life miserable. Here in New York City, if you drive in a bus lane, a fucking bus lane, you stop in a bus lane, they give me a fucking ticket. Knowing goddamn well nobody can afford nothing right now. These people are the greatest oppressors on the planet Earth. And like the bishops, I was watching the bishops earlier, which it was on point. Here it is, the elites. One of the families of the elites. Just one of them could fucking stop world hunger. But do they do that? No, absolutely not. Because they're evil. So when the morning is light, they practice it because it's in the power of their hand. Because it was what? The earth is given to the hand of the wicked. This is part of their blessing. And you see what they do with their blessing. They don't help forward mankind. They help stifle mankind. When you have the average person out here that's willing to destroy themselves, destroy their legacy, destroy their offsprings before their offsprings even come on earth. When you have the majority of people thinking it's better off I don't have no children, right? You got a fucking issue. There's no animal in the world, no creature that's alive in this single world in the world that would deliberately kill his own kind, knowing that is the last straw. There's no children. There's no children being made. All right, it's a rarity, and especially in this time, if you hear somebody that got a child, you feel sorry for them. So they deliberately, because of the pandemic, because of all this shit, the mindset of the majority of the people, they deliberately made people decide I have to destroy my own. And everybody will sit there and give you a college answer on why this is good. Every single person, okay? Because of all the wickedness that these devils put in this world, that shit catches on. That shit's like a fucking that's the virus right there. All right? That's what got everybody sick out here. Wickedness is a disease. I like that. Wickedness is a disease. The real virus out here is wickedness. And just like any virus, it needs a host. And the host that is channeling itself in is Esau. This is why, matter of fact, let me get this real quick. 4:28. No. I want it. There it is. It says, Second Ezra 4:30. For the grain of evil seed have been sown in the heart of Adam from the beginning. And how much ungodliness have it brought up into this time? How much shall it yet bring forth until the time of the threshing come? Now, the seed of evil. What was the first act of the seed of evil that was in Adam? Of course, the disobedience, but wasn't that? It was technically it was a manifestation of that seed, which became Cain. Cain was that manifestation of that seed. Yes, that's how crazy it is. A evil thought in somebody's mind can manifest to a person, to a being, and that being was Cain. and his descendants, which caused the first world to be flooded. Now you fast forward, that seed that's brought forth is Esau. So is evil a disease? Is it a virus? Absolutely. The virus is bringing out another virus. Why the fuck would you have a CDC, a central disease? What is it called? Again? The central disease. I forgot the name. When we can look it up. And why do you have the World Health Organization when everybody out here have their own everything? All right, CDC. I believe it's Central for Disease Control. Why do you have Why do you have these things? You have these things because the people that's in power is using everything in their power to destroy the majority of the people of the earth. It is no secret. It is no secret that everybody out here has this suicidal thought. People are clinging to death more than they clinging to life. They love death more than death is like a fashion statement. All right. Proverbs, and this proves that the spirit of the Lord is not in these people, which I'm gonna read it real quick. Proverbs 8:34. It says, blessed is the man that heareth me. So those of us that hear the Lord understand things, we understand our surrounding. We understand what's going on. All right. Matter of fact, let me start at 32. Now, therefore, hearken unto me, O ye children, for blessed are they that keep my ways, and the ways of the Lord is life. All right. Hear instructions and be wise and refuse it not. And where's the instruction book? The instruction book is the scriptures, it's not the goddamn Constitution. It's not the U.S. Constitution. The Constitution is not an instruction to life. You hear these people, their talking point is as the Constitution is the greatest thing on the planet Earth. No, the scriptures are the greatest things in the planet Earth. This is the book of life. All right? Whether you like it, whether you dislike it, whether you don't agree, it doesn't mean, not all people's opinion, like it says Romans 3:3, what if some do not believe? Shall they disbelief make the Lord's, roughly paraphrasing, an effect? God forbid. Let every man a liar and God be true. Right? What you feel don't mean nothing. Feelings come and go. What remains the same is the instructions to live by this life. And everybody's neglecting that fact. You have a whole bunch of these Christians that's turning around crying about this. Oh, what kind of God does this and that? Like, okay, what's your answer? Oh, you gotta live your life, love whoever you want. Then you're being ungodly. That's the same formula that got that old world destroyed. So you're not following the instructions. It says, and be wise and refuse it not. Don't refuse it. Those that refuse it, you're gonna be destroyed anyway, because you're refusing the actual thing that's telling you how to live. Blessed is the man that heareth me, watching daily at my gates, waiting at the posts of my doors. In other words, always on watch, being a watchman. Watching what? The prophecies that are being fulfilled, proving the times that we come in, and we're coming to the end of this world. But whoso findeth me findeth life, and shall obtain favor of the Lord. Because you understand everything that's around us is not about our um, own thoughts, own, I was gonna say construction, but everything that's around us is being governed by the Heavenly Father. It's quite simple, but people make a big deal out of that because they want to believe that they're right You know, there's it's a the common disease right now, and everybody out here thinking that they fucking right because of their feelings. You got no fucking feelings. But like I said, but he that sinneth, what is sin? Transgression of the law, breaking the instructions that was given. Right now, the instructions that was given to the nation of Israel. However, you have a thing called like a universal law. A universal law, like if a man kills another man, or sorry, if a man murders another man, his blood needs to be shed. That was Genesis 9 and 6. That was Noah. The Lord was talking to Noah. Oh, you're not even supposed to eat things that has blood in it. That's a universal law. Sodom and Gomorrah being destroyed. They wasn't being destroyed because they didn't know. They've been destroyed because they knew. That was the universal law. The laws was oral back then, and it was written in stone for the children of Israel. The Lord made a covenant with them. So everybody else, there's certain things that they can do for themselves to better themselves, but they chose not to. So they sin willingly. All right, they sin willingly. He says, but he that sinneth against me wrongeth his own soul. All that hate me love death. So we live in a culture and a society that praises death. Job 10:21. It says, before I go whence I shall not return, even to the land of darkness and the shadow of death. The land of darkness as darkness itself, and of the shadow of death without any order, and where the light is as darkness, which is here in America. All right. Up is down, down is up. You name it, we in a bizarre world. Men, a man think he's a woman, he just puts a dress on. Men might think he's a goddamn baby. And everybody like, oh, the baby thing is ridiculous, but a man, whoever, you are out of your fucking mind. You're all out of your goddamn mind, and that's why that's the presence that it is. This is why they could present these um, sicknesses as a life altering thing. All right, because they got your mind. They have you right where you want you. Like I'm gonna say it. There was a post which makes sense. Matter of fact, I'll talk about this one. Well, it doesn't matter. They said in the 1930s, or before that, when people went to hospital, it was in and out. Why they was in and out? Because it was using linen sheets. Why so that's so significant? Because the vibration of linen. Now, when you go to the hospital now, you see nothing but plastic. Plastic has a certain quality to it that is death. Okay. The other thing was copper. They said in public pools, they didn't have to put no chloride or nothing because the copper itself would clean out the bacteria and so forth. But now they're telling us, oh, you got to take this outside thing to put it in your body to prevent something that's supposed to be natural. But these things that's coming, they're unnatural. And the only reason why they're unnatural because they're lab ridden. So that's why they with all these diseases, even certain diseases, is not supposed to jump from man, from beast to man, right? But all of a sudden, diseases are jumping from beast to a person, and nobody question. Well, smart people will question it, and they will realize, like, wait a minute, this these things these things is man-made. They purposely, deliberately doing these things so they can have these crazy ass viruses that you never even heard of that has certain abilities that it shouldn't even have. Okay, the human body itself was built to deal with damn near any situation, but they find a way to weaken your superpower and allow these things to come into you. But we're the bug outs, right? That's why the scripture says what? The herbs are what? The meat of man, meat for man. Everything in this planet Earth was made for the use of mankind. But yet these devils turn around and say, nope, it's not the use of mankind. We gotta charge you for water. We gotta charge you for this. We gotta charge you for that. This place is fucking pure darkness, man. And people are getting tired of it because they're going against the very, that's how crazy it is. They're literally going against the very thing that would, when the Lord created, I gotta say it like that, mankind, right? The very thing, matter of fact, I always bring this out. The very thing that they make you hate the thing that's good for you, which is backwards. Sirach 39, 26. It says, matter of fact, I'll start at, well, actually, I should start there. Sirach 29 and 25. For the good are good things created from the beginning. So evil things for the sinners. The principal things for the whole use of man's life are water, fire, iron, salt, flour of wheat, honey, milk, the blood of grape, and oil and clothing. All these are good for the godly because it's what about living contemptuous life, meaning you live by your means. These are the things, the sustenance that you can live off. I was just walking down the block with the dog, and then Jake, he just had to talk to me forever, and he came to that conclusion. It was an older gentleman, and he's like, "Look, you don't need all this extra shit out here. You don't need this. All you need is like a plain life." And what if everybody's doing that of lately? Like they're saying, unplugging themselves from the matrix and realizing that you don't need the things that you was being told that you needed. Because when the things that they tell you need, there's a path of temptation with it. So these are your God-given rights. The principal things for the whole use of man is your God-given rights. So that covers everything. But the devil said, nope, you can't have these things. You got to pay for water. You got to pay for fire in the form of electricity. Oh, even gas. You got to pay for iron. You got to pay for salt, flour of wheat. You got to pay for that. Honey, you got to pay for that. Milk, you got to pay for that. The blood of grapes, which is wine, you got to pay for that. And oil, you got to pay for that. And clothing, you got to pay for that. All these things are for good to the godly. So the sinner, they are turned evil. So they take that formula, flip it, and make it to be something beyond the realms of men. So everybody's literally fighting against their own um, programming. All right, we was all designed to. Well, let me get it real quick. Hold on, because I got it. Genesis. I get this one first. One and is it 21 or 20? Genesis 1. I started 23. In the evening and the morning were the fifth day. And the Elohim said, let the earth bring forth the living creature after his kind, cattle, creeping thing, and the beasts of the earth, and after his kind. And it was so. Meaning what? And so here it is. And the Elohim made the beasts of the earth, and after his kind, and the cattle after their kind. Everything creeping, everything creepeth upon the earth, and his kind, and the Elohim, which means gods, all right, the angels, saw it was good. And the Elohim said, let us make man in our image after our likeness, meaning order, right? We was given order, an instruction book. And let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and of the cattle over all the earth, and every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. So the Elohim created man in his own image. In the image of the Elohim created he him. Male and female created he them. So all this extra binary nonsense shit that's extra shit that doesn't compute, that was not part of how he was created, which they know that. But here's the point. And the Elohim blessed them, and the Elohim said unto them, be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the fowl of the air, over the every living creature, every living thing that moveth upon the earth. So Esau exploited that. So now people don't want to be fruitful and multiply. That was part of. That's part of us. That's something that cannot come out, except for what the devil came in. Matter of fact, hold on, let me get that real quick. Wisdom of Solomon 2. And this is really talking about Israel, but Wisdom of Solomon 2 and 22. For as for the mystery of the Most High, they knew them not, neither hope they for the wages of righteousness, for the nor discern a reward for blameless souls. Talking about the wicked. This is Wisdom of Solomon, the second chapter. Solomon seeing the future of how the ungodly thinks. All right. And it's very close to how damn near this is exactly how the elites think. The people that runs this shit. For the Most High created man to be immortal, and made him to be an image of his own eternity. So when the creator of all things designed it and gave the orders to the Elohims, which are Yahweh the angels, it was for man to be as the Most High himself in the heavens, mainly Israel. All right? Because it's talking about, like I said, this whole chapter is talking about the ungodly versus the godly. Okay? It says, nevertheless, through envy of the devil came death into the world, and they that do hold of his side do find it, which they, meaning what? They love death. So this is a death culture. Death cultures would allow these things to take place. Okay? Going to this real quick. Second Ezra 16:40. No, I gotta go up. Second Ezra 16 and 35. Behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack. So the plagues are here. All right. It's not hidden. It's not far away. They are here. And they're not slacking. From 2000 and when does that shit happen? 2020, right? We went through this whole lockdown bullshit because of this thing that now they're saying publicly that it was fraudulent. They're saying it publicly that people that didn't have to take it didn't have to take it. Now they're entering the next phase, something that's supposed to be far worse than the last one. It was supposed to be more real. So these things are not slacking, and this thing is grab. What's that word? It is getting tension. It's building up. All right, it's building up very well. I must say that this little thing is building up. It's like a snowball effect because it's following this, like I did in the last show. It's following the same trend as that shit. So that could be it, or they could just be testing out the waters and see what it is. Either way, the plagues they're not going away. As for when a woman with child in the ninth month bring forth her son with 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains compass her womb, which pains when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side. Proving that what? I tell you what, it's Psalms 17 and 13, that Esau is the Lord's whipping stick. He's the Lord's sword, Slakia. So this sword is responsible for everything that's going wrong in this world. Is in their power to do this. So this shit is not gonna go away. We don't want it to go away. Shit, everything could collapse at one time. Famine is coming in. This time there's no fucking rescue, yo. There's no package that they could do. There's nothing because it's run by the cruel Lord. And the cruel Lord is only concerned about his goddamn self. So this thing is perfectly tailor made for this time. So expect all hell to break loose in the near future. So with that being said, shalom to the elect of the nations of Shalom.